What you're about to see is a video recording I did for a friend of mine who wanted to learn Voiceflow. She's getting started. She has no idea how this whole platform works, but she wanted to start building chatbots and selling them. So I recorded this video for her to get her started from this 0 to 1 phase on Voiceflow, seeing how everything works. And she liked it so much, she found so much value in it, that I thought, why not share this with you as well? This won't be any flashy images or any flashy edited videos, because who really learns from that? This is just the purest form of me explaining Voiceflow and how it works. I left it uncut, so you can follow along easily with any steps. Any links or resources mentioned in this video I have put down below in the video description for you, so you can go ahead and find everything you need there. And if you find value in this as well, and you want to learn more about AI and chatbots, then you can subscribe to the channel, as this would make me eternally happy. First thing we will need to do is go to Voiceflow. I will provide you a link to do that as well. This is the home page, and already this homepage provides us with multiple things to do. Voiceflow is the application that we will build everything in, as you probably already know. They're showing us around here with everything that we can do with them, but first of all, maybe let's look at the pricing. They have multiple plans here. I recommend for anyone starting out, and for you as well, the Pro plan. It's $60 a month. Recalculating that to euros, that's around 50 euros per month, or whichever currency you use. 10k credits is more than enough to start out. You can do the free starter as well, but you won't have all of the models and all of the functions and possibilities unlocked. So I definitely recommend starting out with Pro, even though starting for free is an alternative as well. Business is not yet relevant. It becomes relevant if you get to higher levels and to higher stages. For the beginning, for starting out, and for learning Voiceflow in its entirety, Pro is already enough. If you are planning on doing this for the long term, you can do it annually as well. You will save 10%, but that's just a nice extra. Okay, having all of that. Oh, by the way, the docs as well will be interesting. Here is everything explained in a text format. In case you have any questions further that I was not able to explain in this video, you will find everything in the docs. You can click around here. Basically everything that you can do with Voiceflow is explained in here. They even have images and videos to explain it themselves. If there's any more questions, this is the way to go. The changelog is basically just their updates, what updates they did. So if anything is new, then this is your place to go to see what is new and how this works. Okay, but let's stop the talking and start to doing. We will go ahead and sign in. For you, this will be with an email address. They will guide you through everything, basically no way to get lost in the setting up of your account. Once you are in your account, you will land on a page looking similar to this. Nothing here is really important to us yet. You won't have any recent bots. You will probably only have the templates and a few tutorials. If we go here, this is the projects, where we can see all of the projects and different bots we have built. Usage is just how much of our monthly credits we have already used. Plans and billing is our plans and billing. Members is only one. If you were in a business or team plan, then you could see all the different members that are working in your workspace here. For us, as we're pro, this is the only one. Phone numbers is if you want to build agents that are connected to phone numbers, which I recommend doing. I will explain this further along in the tutorial as well. So your agent can answer questions via phone. Any phone numbers you can connect here. Whoops. And then these are the ones we already have. Learn is just the tutorials. Documentation is the docs we just went through. Their Discord is their Discord. And the changelog we know as well. Hire an expert. Your goal will be more to be listed here as an expert rather than to hire one. But this still is a fun place to click on some profiles and see what others have built. Him, for example, Juan, is a friend of mine as well. So you can go here and see what he has built, a Zapier trigger, for example, and then you could download this and use it for yourself. We want to learn it ourselves, so we won't do that just now. We will go back to the home page and start with a basic template. You can basically ignore all of the other ones, as this is just what you can see here.
Hi there,
already.
this is Laura.
Tutorials and stuff. They will already have put in here an agent that has been pre-prompted. for you. This prompt, as much as I love Voiceflow and everything they're doing, is trash, basically. It's not usable, it's not very good, so we will go ahead and delete this immediately. And before we go into building anything, let's look at what we have on the left side here. So workflows will be the workflows. This will be the main meaty part where we will be working and where we will develop all the agents. Knowledge bases. This is all the knowledge we will feed into our agents, because we know that the agents we build are only as good as the knowledge we feed it. So everything that we want our agents to be able to answer from, we will upload here. And we have multiple options to do so. We can do URLs, sitemap, which is my preferred way to do so. I will show you how this works in a second. Upload a file or write plain text. If you or your clients use Zendesk as a CRM, then you can connect their CRM, their Zendesk, with this as well. As the Zendesk is not the most popular CRM, you will find not many who use this. I have never come to use Zendesk, actually. So my preferred way is to use the sitemap, and I will show you this with my own website. So if we go ahead here and copy the link of my website, go to sitemap and paste this in here, we will not only use this, but write sitemap.xml. Okay, refresh rate we can put to monthly, as I don't really frequently update my website. The chunk strategy is for the chatbot we want to build. If we want to use a customer service chatbot, so one that just answers questions, we can click FAQ optimization. Anything else, summarize, is for different use cases. Probably in most cases you will only need the FAQ optimization. And then further we will just put it to all knowledge bases. Now we go ahead and click continue. And now what this sitemap.xml has done is search for any subdomain that is within my website. Otherwise, if we had only used the URL option and just paste it in the URL, then we would only have this main URL and it would have ignored all of the other ones. But using a sitemap, we got all of the URLs and it will learn all of these URLs. It's the quickest way to import knowledge. Okay, you can leave this page even while they're updating. These ones were pretty quick because my website isn't that big. If you work with clients that have really large enterprise websites, these can take a bit longer to upgrade. You don't have to watch them all along, you can just continue building. Interfaces is where we will end. So once we've uploaded the knowledge and we've built the entire bot, inside the interfaces we will see the code and the design and everything we need to finish up our bot. The installation, this is the code we will copy in the end and send to our clients or paste into our website, and then the bot will show up in the bottom right corner as shown here. This has to be pasted anywhere before the body close tag, which is similar to this bottom script close you can see here. It's basically just this triangle to open slash, and then there will be written body and then close. Your clients will know any website you import this into and you use the code to import it into, know that it has to be copied and pasted before the body close tag. Modality and interface is just what this will look like. We will often use, or most often use, chat. We want to use the widget as well. Position, this is if it's right on the website or on the left. Most times this is right. All of these spacings you can customize as well. Stream text, yes, we want to have that. Voice input, we want to have this as well. Voice output you can turn off, because if this is on and someone loads up your website and loads up or opens the bot, immediately the bot will start to read out the text it has written. This can be really annoying, as it is really loud at doing so. So you can turn this off. Appearance and style. You can use a font family here. You can use some colors. If we change the color to green, then it will change all of the others as well. Here you can upload the custom images and stuff you designed for the logos of your bot. This can be your own logo, the logo of the company or the website you're building it for, or anything else. I often use no, I won't. Okay, the launcher type is just what your agent will look like. Right here we have this icon plus test your agent. We can choose this one as well, or this one. This is all to your preference. The placeholder text, you can write anything here. An AI disclaimer. You can change this as well and write anything here, but I recommend that you use one. This is not in all countries. I don't believe this is required in every country and in every nation, but it is in some, so you will do better but by always having this turned on. Turn off the voice flow, turn off the powered by voice flow. That way, if you would turn this on, you would have this voice flow ad down here, and you don't want that, so turn it off. And security is only for teams and business plans, so this is not relevant to us as well. Telephony is as well, you can add numbers here. Any number you add here, your agent will act as a phone agent as. So if I would put my phone number in here, then anytime anyone would call me, the agent would respond. Publish history is basically irrelevant for us. The transcripts, here you can see every conversation that anyone has had with your agent. This is really good for updating, doing things better, seeing what are frequently asked questions. You will spend a lot of time in here if you want to do your job well. Analytics as well. Here you can see everything about your bot and in any time frame. So how many users it has had today, how many unique users, total call minutes and stuff. This is empty right now because this bot hasn't done anything yet. But this is one of the most valuable interfaces in your bot as well. Settings, you can rename this here, put a description in for you. The metadata are only relevant if we want to connect this bot to other apps via API, for example. The canvas, leave that as it is. I recommend this is good the way it is. Behavior, yeah, chat and voice, leave it as it is. You can choose another voice here. If you don't like Emilia for whatever reason, you can choose Charlie or any other voice. I would recommend sticking with 11 Labs though, as 11 Labs is the best provider for AI voices. Everything else basically is not relevant for us. Leave it all the way it is. The global no match you can change. This is the message that your bot will write whenever it was not able to respond to a user's question or to a user's message. You can either put generative here or scripted. I like to use a scripted one and then just put in here something in the lines of, sorry, I was not able to answer this question. If you want to have further information on that, you can contact us directly, and then put in the email and the telephone number of the business this bot is for. Okay, this was all. We will go back to the workflow now and start building. And we have multiple options to start building. One is an agent. This is basically the pre-agent that already has been written for us as we started this. You remember I told you to delete it. We can now create this or write an agent ourselves. Hit new agent, and here we can write anything that we want. We can as well cheat a little bit here and get some help from Voiceflow and tell him which agent we want to have, and he will prompt this agent for us. So for example, I need an FAQ agent for a, well, I put in my website, so it would make sense to describe my business, for a business that builds chatbots. Okay, so very basic. I need an FAQ agent for a business that builds chatbots. The agent should answer questions and ask questions back to qualify the users for sales calls. Okay, very short, very short. If you want anything more, you can reduce hallucination here. You can tell them to do basically anything, give them more personality, and you can accept that. If you want to change anything directly in this prompt here, you're free to do so as well. I recommend giving him a role, as it already is here. For example, you are XYZ agent for XYZ company. Please do X, Y, and Z. You can put in here a description of the clients as well, so of the end users, what they most likely will look like, or what a qualified lead for this business would look like, so the bot knows who he's talking to, and anything else to reduce hallucination and stuff. I have a pre-written prompt which you could get by going to a website that I can send you as well, which is this one. This is the website for my newsletter, and just opting into the newsletter, meaning email address and first name, so I have a way to send you the prompts and everything. So if you put in your email and first name and opt into the newsletter, I will send you personally a basically ready to use chatbot plus all the prompts and everything you need to get started, so that you could basically skip this tutorial. So if you only want the bot, then skip this tutorial, go here and download the bot. If you want to actually understand how to build with Voiceflow, then you could probably anyway stick to this tutorial and use the pre-built bot I have as a booster, for example. Okay, the model, I recommend to choose the latest GPT-1. GPT-5 just came out, so we'll choose that. Tokens is just how long the answers will be. I recommend putting this anywhere between 500 and, well, honestly, if you put it to 8,000, the answers are going to be really long. If you put it to 10, the answers are going to be really short. You will choose whatever you're liking. I'm using 3,000 now just because I can. Any tools you can connect here, Gmail, for example, there we go, could send an email. So if you're going to collect emails with this bot, then, and you use the send email option here, then your bot will be able to send emails. This is pretty cool for more advanced use cases. Same goes for any other option we turn on the knowledge base option. We want this agent to be able to answer from the knowledge base. Buttons, cars, carousels, and exit conditions you can basically all leave unchecked unless you have anything else. The exit condition is basically under which condition will this agent stop running and continue with the flow. Example, you want to send, or you want to use this bot to receive and send emails, then you would put here, once the user has put in an email address, exit here and send the email. Okay, so this is one option to start with this agent. Obviously you want to tell them how to start, so in here we should probably write something, start with the following message, write hello, and then answer all of the questions. Another thing we can do is doing this manually. So start with a message and write here hello, or anything that you want your agent to write once it starts. And now once we run the agent, it says hello. Cool, right? Okay, prompt, basically we don't use this anymore. This is the same thing as this, just in a little bit worse, so you can skip the prompt thing. If you want to have any images in here, then you will collect the image card. You could upload an image here. Card is basically an image as well, just with a link attached. So I could put an image and a link to my website here for whatever reason. And carousel is just multiple cards. So a carousel has multiple cards, and you can swipe through all of these different cards. Okay. They are cool if you have relevance for using them. I never really had relevance to using any of these. So then, listen. We have written a hello now, and we want to get the response from the client because they have a question, and then we want to capture this question. So we will choose the capture card, choose entire reply, save the entire reply to a variable called question maybe. And variables are very important to us because variables allow us to store certain values in them and use them further along in the flow. So anything where you know, okay, I will use this, whatever, a message, a question, anything, I will use this further along in the flow for anything, save it as a variable. Here, for example, we want to collect the question from the user to put this in here so that it can answer the question. So we will save it in the variable question. And in here, we can tell them as well, answer the following message. Questions. Okay, now it will answer the questions. Anything else that we have here, buttons, for example, allows us to do multiple buttons. Add another. Okay. And they have multiple flows. So you could say, for example, hello, and then you have multiple flows, and then you can connect all of these to different cards, right? And then depending on what the user chooses on this button card, they get directed into a different flow. So we hit run. We have the hello with our different buttons here, and whichever we choose, we go to the flow which we connected to that. And yeah, choice then is just okay. What else do we have here? We have logic. We can work with conditions, with if then statements. So, for example, if the user has provided an email address, then go and follow this part. If not, then tell them about the weather, right? Whatever. And you can do this here, and you build an if builder. Now you have if variable question is, then you put another variable here, or write something, or matches any. You can change this as here is greater than, starts with, ends with a question mark, for example, and then we can follow a different path. Right, and else, so if this condition is not met, we go along a different path. Okay. Set is more advanced. Here we will set variables to certain expressions. So we can not only save variables that have been set or collected, like this question here, anywhere on the flow, we can as well set a certain variable to a certain value. So we have now in the beginning set or collected the variable questions because of a question the user has asked. Now I could change this variable to 1, 2, 3. Now it's basically useless because the variable is just 1, 2, 3, but you get the idea. When you want to change a variable or you want to set a variable to a certain value, this is the way to go. Components and end. I have never personally used end as just the end of the flow. This is where your agent ends. I like to build agents in a way that they always repeat, like they are always in a big loop. Like answering a question, can I help you any other way? No, then whatever, steer again, right? You don't need an end button is what I will say. You don't need that. The bots work perfectly fine without it, and even leaving this out, your bot will still end if you just stop building, right? So after, for example, in this case, after this agent block we have here, your bot will stop working because there is no card attached in the end. This is basically an infinite loop, and your bot could run potentially infinitely, and someone could have an infinite conversation with this bot. Dev is for the developers. You can forward a call here. For example, you see that your agent was not able to answer a question, then call forward is to call the business, forward the call, so that the agent can ask, or that the user can ask the question not to an agent but to a real person. Custom agents, knowledge-based search is a more deeper version than this one for searching the knowledge base. For building really simple agents, this dev tool is not required. If we want to dig deeper in here, then we will use some of these. JavaScript is if you know Java and can code with Java. I don't, so I've never used this. API is to connect the agent to any other applications. And tools, functions, and custom agents, I personally have never used in depth as well. I know that they work and how they work, but I've never seen a certain use case where another option here wouldn't have been better. So I won't go in detail on that, just because I believe that anything that you can do with these, you can do with simpler ones as well, and we don't want to overcomplicate it. Okay. Now you know everything here and everything we have here. And then the only thing that's left now is building the bot, however you wish to do. A very simple one would end here, right? We said hello. The user can ask a question and we will answer that. Let's try this. It says hello. We can ask a question. What is a chatbot? And just like that, our question has been answered. If we now see that any of these answers we don't like, for example, it's too long, well, we can really easily change to this by cracking down the tokens. Or we want to add anything more, or we don't like his personality, then we could change his personality, or anything else. Any more information, anything that we would change about him is just a matter of going in here and changing around this prompt. With this agent step, Voiceflow has basically took out this whole lot of complicated stuff and this basically genius you had to be to build these bots, and just put it down to you only need to write text. The coding language, as NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang said a few years ago, is now English. With AIs, the coding language, the international coding language, is now English or any other language. If you want to build a bot in your native language, then you can do so as well. And then the coding language is your native language, right? Really not complicated. So, for anything you want to do besides that, you know you have the options here. Now let's say, for example, I want to exit once the user exit here when a user asks about AI agents, right? Okay, and by the way, we can attach a variable here as well. So a variable needs to be filled. If any variable, user ID or anything is filled, then they will exit here. Most of these pre-written variables that we have here are, well, they're cool, also very self-explanatory. User ID is just the ID that has been given to the user who's using this chat. This is anonymous, so you cannot follow back to the user. Timestamp is whichever the current time. Platform is the platform we're on, so most times this will be web chat. VF memory, so Voiceflow memory, is just the whole conversation that the bot has had so far with this specific user. This is filled on autopilot and used on autopilot. So for example, you do not need to use this in this AI agent step because it has already in its knowledge just by Voiceflow on default fill out this variable. Okay, so we want to exit whenever someone asks about AI agents. And once this happens, let's say, let's put buttons, because we have multiple agents. Let's say I offer multiple agents, right? Or let's say I am a business which offers multiple agents. And wait, we will use a talk step before. Which agent are you interested in? And then we have, Opa, come on. Hey, what happened? Hello. I want to write a message. Which agent are you interested in? And then we have a, whoop. Phone agent. Email agent. Do they want to... Wait. Phone agent, email agent. Everything's working fine. Okay. Phone agent, email agent, voice agent. Okay. And all of these different buttons, I want that they lead to a different carousel. And in this carousel, let's pretend that I offer these multiple agents. And let's pretend that I have multiple images or versions for each of these agents. Then I have 3 versions of any of them, right? A phone agent, I offer one phone agent for cleaning businesses, I offer one for hospitals, and I offer one for lawyers. Okay? Then I could put an image and link for each of them here. And same goes for the rest. So for the other ones. Duplicate. Okay. And now I would see all these different cards. Let's try that. Let's hit run. Let's just ask him something mandatory. And another cool thing to demonstrate I have only given him information about my website. And on my website, there is only information about me and AI. So there is no information, let's say, about biochemists. So, in theory, there is no information in his knowledge base about how plants produce oxygen, right? So let's ask him, how do plants produce oxygen? And funny enough, he can answer this as well. So you see, that's basically what we've done here is we have ChatGPT. The ChatGPT, as we all know it, we have just given him the extra information about us so that it is now able to answer information specifically about the data that we have put into the database as well. But any other question about plants and any other thing that ChatGPT knows about, we can ask here as well. Pretty cool thing. Okay, so let's ask about AI agents. What AI agents do you offer? Okay, he realized we asked about AI agents, and he sent us out. By the way, basically, oh, using green here was probably not the smartest idea of me, but we will just go along with it. Okay, now I want a phone agent. Okay, now we would have a carousel here if I had put anything in here. Fine. Okay, so we know this works. Let's close this and go back. Let's see. What else could we do? What else could we do? You know what? I want to use a backup. Right? Because maybe our agent fails at any point to find the correct information in the knowledge base. But it's in there. He just doesn't find it. Happens rarely, but it can happen. So let's make sure that even if this agent doesn't find it, we still get an answer. So the name, no answer from KB. KB's knowledge base here. Happens when no answer was found in the knowledge base. Okay, we will not be able to try out this path just because I won't find a question in time that he won't be able to answer. But just to make sure, let's do that. Okay, knowledge base search is what we want to use here. The question is our variable that we have defined earlier. Questions. Save chunks to variable. This is the answer that this step will find. Where do we save it in? And we want to save it in answer. So create this variable. Chunk limit, put this to 3. Because if you use more chunks, this means that the agent will find more information in the knowledge base. But this can be overwhelming for the agent. So use 3 as a max. Okay, and we want to put a not found path in here as well, for the case that this as well might not find the answer. Okay, and we put in the questions here. We want to save the chunks to the variable answer, and we will now go here. We have now the chunks. So, you know, for the love of God, let's use a prompt. Create a prompt. Okay, the system prompt. System prompt is what the agent will operate under as a personality. Here we choose GPT-5 again. And we will put here answer the user's question based on these infos. Answer. Bam. Okay. And what will now happen is we ask a question. This agent step isn't able to answer. So it goes here. This step will find the answer in chunks, meaning in really big blocks of text. And these big blocks of text will be sent to this prompt. And this prompt then will extract the relevant information from all of these blocks and answer the question. Cool. And then after that has happened, we will just go back into our regular flow. If this wasn't able to find this as well, we will just say sorry. Pretty basic. And after, we'll go back here as well. Okay, and so you build your agent. What I recommend you do if you work with any clients is go and sit down with them and go and talk what they want to have in their agent. I have to warn you, most will not know what they want to do with their chatbot, what options they want to have, because most just do not know what's possible. So I recommend that you build a blueprint one that you just copy and paste for every business, and then iterate along once they tell you, oh, I don't like this, I would prefer if we did this, and then you go along there. As well, you can read them just some options out. So we have the option to put a carousel. We have the option to do fallbacks. We have the option to use tools and send emails, right? Okay. If you want to have any further in-depth tutorials that I wasn't able to cover in this very basic video to get you started, then as said, you will find them in the Voiceflow docs. Okay, so let's finish this up and make it ready. Go to widget. Basically, as we've done this before at the beginning of this video, everything already looks good. We can put our privacy policy in here, which I recommend you do. We have the colors and everything ready. So all we need now to do is just copy this and paste it onto our website or send it to the client. As well, if we want to import any phone numbers, we could do this here as well. You will have to have a Twilio or what's that, Vonage account to do so. Really easy to set up, really self-explanatory. I will not go into this in depth because it is really easy. I want to show you, to finish this up, how this would sound on telephone. So I will call myself now. Okay, so I've just put in my phone number and we're getting called. Let's take the call.
Hello.
Hey there. Can you tell me a little bit about how plants produce oxygen?
Hi. Sure. Plants produce oxygen during photosynthesis. Here's the quick overview. In sunlight, chlorophyll in chloroplasts absorbs light energy. Water molecules are split, photolysis, into oxygen, protons, and electrons.
That's pretty cool, but can you tell me a bit more about what Tim does?
Absolutely. Tim Westerman is our founder and leads client projects for AI assistants / chatbots. In short, he runs discovery to map your goals, support, lead gen, bookings, product education. Designs and builds custom.
Alright, that's enough, thank you.
to your-
Okay, so this works out pretty good as well. And with that, I hope I've given you a good first insight of what Voiceflow is, how it functions, how it works like, and what everything is that we can do, and that is pretty cool. Again, the link for Voiceflow I hope I have sent you, and the links for anything else you need I hope remember to send you as well. Any questions are welcome. Goodbye.